Subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell icon to get the latest updates.
Welcome to the Print Soft Cover. We have with us today Mr. Radheshyam Jadhav. He has been a journalist for over 2 decades in Maharashtra, covering politics in the state and rural economy. Welcome, Mr. Jadhav. He's just written a book called The Trail of the Tiger, published by Bloomsbury, India. That's Mr. Jadhav's book, Trail of the Tiger, on Uddhav Bayasaheb Thackeray, the Maharashtra Chief Minister. So first, can you just tell us a little bit about why did you decide to write on Uddhav Thackeray? There's a lot of published material on the Shiv Sena, on Uddhav Thackeray's father, but he's been a very secretive man as such, and there's not much written material on him. So why Uddhav Thackeray?
Yeah. So I'd like to give a just brief background. As we all know, after 2014, the BJP and RSS and all political, non-political wings of RSS, they have set a narrative where they say that all Hindus have a common secular, socio-political, and especially cultural interests. These socio-political and cultural interests are not just against interests of other communities, but are essentially antagonistic. What I found interesting, Uddhav was trying to build a subnational narrative of Hindutva, not in 2019, but way back in 1998. So I was going through his speeches during Mumbai civic elections and assembly elections, and I realized that slowly Uddhav was trying to build his leadership within Shiv Sena without disturbing the fabric which his father has set, of course, hardcore Hindutva. He was not getting support within the Sena, but Uddhav was on the task. And in 2019, when he decided to part ways with the BJP, everybody thought that all said and done, why Uddhav has taken this decision to break 30-year-old alliance. But as a journalist who is covering politics in Maharashtra, I tried to analyze the available data. And as you rightly said, there is very few written material available on Uddhav Thackeray, especially till 1995.
Early years of his.
Yeah. So once the BJP Sena government was in power, then Uddhav Thackeray started appearing in newspapers and on television channels. So as a journalist, I thought it would be interesting to trace his journey from a reluctant politician to Maharashtra Chief Minister. And there was curiosity about Uddhav Thackeray. As you said, he was not much known outside of Maharashtra. But once he took over as Chief Minister, there was curiosity, there was interest to understand his politics, his personality. So that was what prompted me to write a book.
And the title is also very interesting, Trail of the Tiger, because the tiger has always been, Bal Thackeray in Mumbai. Very few times has Uddhav Thackeray been referred to as the Shiv Sena's tiger. So how did you come up with the title?
Yeah. So again, Mansi, I'll try to explain it from a communication researcher's perspective, from a journalist's perspective, because many people ask me why you decided to write on Uddhav Thackeray and why this title. So I try to explore the intertextuality. I try to do frame analysis and journalistic analysis based on media content. While doing this, I realized that Uddhav had chosen his own path, how to do politics. So I decided to give this title, and I leave it to readers to decide whether this trail is of Balasaheb Thackeray, the tiger, or Uddhav Thackeray. So as a journalist, as a communication researcher, it's my objective analysis. I have tried to put an objective analysis. Let readers take a call whose trail this is.
Now, going back to the point that you made earlier, as you said that there is very little material available on Uddhav Thackeray till 1995, till the time the BJP Shiv Sena government came to power. Yeah. So what were the major challenges, while you were doing your research in getting to know the Uddhav Thackeray of between the 1960s and the 1990s?
Yeah. So very less data was available. No major books or even newspaper hardly carried any stories about Uddhav Thackeray. The first challenge was to collect the data. First challenge was to find news interviews or analysis, critical analysis, where Uddhav Thackeray, his policies are being referred. And to be very frank, I didn't find anything in newspapers, archives, or even in old interviews. So I decided to go by whatever news analysis or news interviews were published in the Times of India and Samna, the mouthpiece of Shiv Sena. So these were the two main newspapers I tried to get maximum stories, or rather all stories which were published about Uddhav Thackeray, and try to analyze it objectively. As I said, I didn't opted for semiotic analysis. I tried to analyze this news from a particular framework, trying to connect the intertextuality to the current political scenario. And I have built a narrative based on media content, and also I spoke to a lot of people who know Uddhav since his college days, people, very senior journalists who have covered Uddhav Thackeray since 1990s. So it is a combination of data analysis as well as personal interviews. Yeah.
Today's circle of Uddhav Thackeray, like his immediate coterie of people, they are quite protective in a way about how much information goes out about him and generally his functioning. How was Uddhav Thackeray's network of the yesteryears? You said that you have also conducted a lot of personal interviews, so that's the reason I asked you. Were people quite forthcoming to talk about Uddhav Thackeray of those days?
Not really. And as you said, it's very difficult to get information from his inner circle. So probably you'd get more information about Balasaheb Thackeray and Shiv Sena and his politics, but not about Uddhav. Right. Even his friend circle is not willing to give information beyond a limit. So it was really a challenging task. And ultimately, I was left to the media content which was available, reading between the lines, trying to critically analyze why a particular story was written, what was happening, why a particular reporter wrote this story. So I based my narrative, 80% narrative on the media content and people who covered Uddhav Thackeray.
And you've worked as a political journalist for over 2 decades, but even so, while researching on the Maharashtra Chief Minister of today, were there any bits that particularly surprised you also? Something that you did not think that it would have been something associated with Uddhav Thackeray, or something that really took you by surprise?
Yeah. So while reading stories in Times of India and in Samana and even in other newspapers, I got a news item where Uddhav Thackeray attended one function. If I'm correct, it was Dalit Panther celebration, founding day celebration, and Uddhav Thackeray was chief guest for that function. Uddhav Thackeray attended the function wearing a badge with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's picture. He ended his speech with a slogan, Jai Bhim, Jai Maharashtra. At the same time, Chief Minister Manohar Joshi was supposed to attend that program with Uddhav Thackeray, and there was confusion, quote unquote, confusion about some dates. And at the same time, when Uddhav was on Dalit Panther stage, Manohar Joshi was attending Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad program. Then there is a speech where Uddhav Thackeray has praised Christian missionaries and Muslim community for their commitment to the faith. This really surprised me. And then he said that even Muslims are joining Shiv Sena. Though Bhima Shakti, Shiva Shakti experiment is a recent one, laid back in 1995, 96, 98, Uddhav Thackeray was trying to expand party's base. He was trying to build a secular narrative within a conservative party's framework. And I was really surprised. I was really astonished the way he was trying to make way, because his father has set a narrative, especially after 1987 Vile Parle Bypole, where Balasaheb Thackeray brought Ram into the ring of politics, and Supreme Court passed strictures. Balasaheb lost his voting right for 6 years. But at the same time, Uddhav was trying to create a niche, a space for himself. He never opposed his father. It was not possible. Neither he challenged his politics, but at the same time, he was trying to create his own space. Though people generally say that he was a reluctant politician and he was not willing to take up responsibilities. But what I found during my analysis, that whenever he got a chance, he tried to assert his views.
Okay.
And of course, without disturbing the fabric of the party or challenging his father.
But I mean, at the same time, this was when Bal Thackeray was very much in control and in of the Shiv Sena and in power at that time. So seeing his son talking about how a Mumbaikar also includes South Indians and North Indians, and considering the Shiv Sena started with its whole Marathi Manus ideology, and its first target population were the South Indians.
Yeah.
But wasn't there friction between father and son during such times? How did that?
I found just one reference about this. In 1997-98, Uddhav wrote a piece about his father, where he says that his father is a straightforward person, and many times he questioned his decisions. But later he realized that his father has a vision. His father has some plans, and that's why he takes certain decisions. When he speaks something, definitely he has a plan behind it. And then Uddhav said that I decided to join active politics, power politics in Shiv Sena, because he realized that his father's vision is not different from him.
Okay.
Of course, that's what he officially said, and he had to say.
Right.
But one interesting fact is that Bala Saheb, in an interview, asked Uddhav not to introduce democratic values, democracy in the party. And he was really worried that Uddhav was trying to bring democracy within Shiv Sena. And then he said that don't bring this democracy in Shiv Sena. I believe in Thokshahi. You should follow in the footsteps.
And this is a published interview of Bal Thackeray.
It's a published interview of Bala Saheb. And that with Samna.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Also, in your book, you have said that in the 1990s, when the Shiv Sena came to power, there was a growing clamor from one section of the Shiv Sena cadre that Uddhav Thackeray should either be made the chief minister or should get some plum portfolio in the cabinet. Then later on, the book also goes on to say that, I mean, of course, Uddhav Thackeray was not part of the government officially, but it also goes on to say that, you know, the Samna office had sort of become a mini Mantralaya with people bringing their woes to Raj Thackeray, who was at that time the Samna caricaturist, and Sanjay Raut. And not so much to Uddhav Thackeray, because the assumption was that he didn't really have a sway in the government. So exactly what was Uddhav Thackeray's role in the Shiv Sena, role and significance in the Shiv Sena and in politics in the 1990s? Because these are two paradoxical statements that come forward.
So when Uddhav completed his education in JJ School of Arts, like Raj and Bala Saheb, Uddhav was much interested in photography. As we all know, he opened an advertising agency with his JJ School friends, and they were settling in the business. In fact, Bala Saheb inaugurated their advertising agency with his wife Minatai, and the couple blessed Uddhav and his friends. Most interestingly, Uddhav was not referring to his family name or Shiv Sena when he and his friends were trying to get business for the agency. At the same time, crowd around Bala Saheb was multiplying, and the spillover, of course, came to Uddhav. One of them was Subhash Desai. As we all know, he's a close confidant of Uddhav Thackeray. So when this crowd started coming to his office, according to his friends who were part of this advertising agency, they said that at a point, Uddhav decided that he can't just ignore this crowd, and he will have to address their concerns. This was the time he decided, or rather Bala Saheb asked him to take management responsibility in Samna, which was launched at the same time. So this was the first step where Uddhav decided to pull down shutters of his advertising agency and take responsibility in Samna. As you said, in Samna, Raj Thackeray was very much active. Sanjay Raut was always there. rather after a few years, Samna was launched, Sanjay Raut was there.
Was
But
right.
yeah, at this particular moment, people had real expectations from Uddhav Thackeray. They wanted him to play a role. In 1995, when BJP Sena came to power, there was a group within Shiv Sena and even within Thackeray family who felt that Uddhav and Raj should take responsibilities. Rather, there was a demand that Uddhav should be made chief minister. Bala Saheb ignored this demand for whatever reasons. When 1999, when Narayan Rane became chief minister, at that particular year, more forceful demand was made that Uddhav should take responsibilities, and Thackeray family was not very happy that Bala Saheb decided to make Manoj Joshi and then Narayan Rane chief minister, because family felt that Manoj Joshi was taking decisions and trying to bypass Bala Saheb and the family, and of course Narayan Rane revolted. Another point I would like to make here, why Bala Saheb decided to bank on Uddhav. If you ask me, according to the analysis, the interviews which I did during this book, I feel that Bala Saheb's health deteriorated, and then at family level, he was too dependent on Uddhav. So even if we say that Uddhav was reluctant politicians, I believe he's like a Buccaneer scholar, as I mentioned in the book. He likes to take responsibility. He tries to learn in the process, though he's not very sure whether he'll be able to handle this responsibility or not. But once he jumps into the action, he takes full responsibility. And Bala Saheb was not very confident to put Uddhav into power corridors. So in one of the interviews after Uddhav became chief minister, he says that I think Sanjay Raut asked him a question, what would have been Bala Saheb's reaction that you have become chief minister? And Uddhav said, he would have been worried. So Bala Saheb was too protective about his son to put him into the hurly-burly of the politics. But at the same time, Uddhav was forced into politics by supporters, by Shiv Sena supporters, by Bala Saheb supporters, and probably like any dynastic political party, even Shiv Sena survives on the name Thackeray, and that too the immediate Thackeray family. So probably that was something which pushed Uddhav to take a call.
The center stage.
Yeah.
Right. So as you mentioned, when during the later years of Bala Saheb Thackeray, when his health really deteriorated, he had to depend a lot on Uddhav. And your book mentions that there was also a lot of talk that Uddhav Thackeray was in some ways remote controlling his father. Are there any truths? Is there any truth to these kind of rumors or speculation?
Yeah. In my book, I specifically said that these were the rumors and speculations. Bala Saheb himself has answered these questions. Bala Saheb referred to one of the press conferences where he was answering questions by reporters. And at the moment, Uddhav intervened and said, okay, bas ho gaya. And then Bala Saheb had to stop the press conference. And this was highlighted in media. Next day, Bala Saheb came out with a clarification saying, nobody controls me. And I had finished the press conference, but people are interested in all these news. Repeatedly, Bala Saheb clarified through Samna, through interviews, that Uddhav is not his remote control. So there were speculations, there were rumors within journalistic circles. We know that there were journalists who were very close to Bala Saheb and who say that they were not allowed to speak to him during his last years. Of course, Bala Saheb always denied this. Uddhav has denied controlling his father.
Right. The book also touches upon the 92-93 riots in Mumbai. Did you find any material about what Uddhav Thackeray was doing at the time? I mean, considering his politics of today, which, as you said, started developing much earlier than what people think. People think that the Shiv Sena is sort of center right only today, whereas he started sowing the seeds of it since the late 1990s. So are there any references to exactly what was going on in Uddhav Thackeray's mind during the Mumbai riots?
Yeah, no direct reference or no interviews what he was thinking, but obviously it's very clear that there was no room for Uddhav Thackeray, Raj Thackeray, or any other Shiv Sena leader when Balasaheb Thackeray was going strong. His word was the last word in Shiv Sena. And there was, as I said, there was no question of challenging his politics. So, including Uddhav Thackeray, Raj Thackeray, and other politicians, even during the Mumbai riots, they towed Shiv Sena's line. They towed Balasaheb's line.
In your book, you've said that Uddhav's aggression started after he fell in love with Rashmi Thackeray. Was Rashmi Thackeray instrumental in making this mild-mannered, reluctant politician into, the tiger that he is sort of becoming today? And what is exactly Rashmi Thackeray's role in his political life?
Yeah, lot has been written about Rashmi Thackeray playing a role, and it has been alleged that Uddhav was benefited because of his father's position and wife's ambition.
Okay.
If you ask me as an analyst, as a researcher, I don't think anyone can force Uddhav Thackeray to take any decision.
Right.
So he takes his own decisions. People can facilitate. So when he was dealing with BJP, one interesting thing I realized that he's a ace photographer. He's a good photographer, good wildlife photographer. And when he was asked that why you chose wildlife photography, then he said nobody questions me there. Otherwise, in my life, I'm like Arjuna facing all kinds of oppositions. Coming back to the point, Rashmi Thackeray's role and aggression. One instance I have referred in the book, and this information comes from Uddhav Thackeray's friends, and he was keen to marry her, and according to family friends, there was opposition from Thackeray family, and the horoscope was not matching, and the family went to a spiritual man, and he said that they should not go ahead with the marriage. But Uddhav told family that whatever, he has taken a call. He will marry Rashmi. And his friend circle says that Minathai tried to speak to his friends, but Uddhav is strong-headed. In the sense, once he decides, he listens to his own mind. So that was something interesting. And Rashmi's role, I think she has facilitated his role as Shiv Sena leader, as a chief minister. If you look at the Thackeray family warfare, Thackeray family Mahabharata, as I have mentioned in the book, there was only one person who put faith in Uddhav and supported him all the way, and it was Rashmi Thackeray. When his leadership was questioned by Raj Thackeray, when his leadership was questioned by Smita Thackeray, Jaidev Thackeray, when senior Shiv Sena leaders were saying that Uddhav has no capabilities to take forward Balasaheb's legacy, he was attacked within the family, within the party. He was ridiculed. But one person, and that is Rashmi Thackeray, who stood firm with him. And I think that she definitely has a role to play when Uddhav decided to snap ties with the BJP and open talks with NCP. She was very much active in all these deliberations. And if my prediction goes true, probably she would be the first woman Thackeray to contest elections. Now, this is a statement I'm making, hypothetical statement, but there's a strong gut feeling that probably she would be the first woman in Thackeray family to contest elections.
All right. That will be a very interesting scenario, though. What is Uddhav? How is the relationship of Uddhav Thackeray and Sharad Pawar? Sharad Pawar and Bayasaheb Thackeray, we know that they were the best of friends, worst of enemies. How is Uddhav Thackeray with Sharad Pawar? Knowing that everybody calls Sharad Pawar the architect of the MBA and also the driver of the MBA, and here we have a leader who is the chief minister, who, as you said, is very strong-headed and he acts of his own mind. So, how do the two basically?
In one of his interviews, Balasaheb Thackeray said that he always wanted to have an alliance with Sharad Pawar, and a Pawar-Thackeray combination would challenge Delhi. And Balasaheb used the word, Sharad Pawar was never firm on his political decisions. That's why there was no alliance.
Okay.
So it was not that Balasaheb didn't want to forge an alliance with NCP. Balasaheb always wanted to go with Sharad Pawar. And Sharad Pawar, as you said, was a good friend of Balasaheb. After 2019 elections, one of the senior leaders in the NCP, and we know that a lot of books have been written, a lot of discussions have happened, what happened after assembly election. One of the NCP leaders told me when the results were being announced, so he said that first call Sharad Pawar made to Uddhav Thackeray saying, this is a chance you can become chief minister. This was on 24th, I think 24th October. When
the day of the results, basically.
Elections were being announced. So picture was still not clear, and Sharad Pawar had already played his cards well. Sharad Pawar is an ace politician, as we all know. And he was keen that Uddhav Thackeray takes charge as chief minister, and he becomes remote control in the government. So if we see today, Sharad Pawar, though not directly acting as a remote control, but he and his party, they are achieving what they wanted to. They are expanding their base.
Right.
And also, I believe that tomorrow, if Shiv Sena faces some crisis, neither NCP nor Congress would be interested in Shiv Sena's survival.
So basically, they are allies for convenience of today. So because there is a lot of talk about Shiv Sena and NCP now getting closer, and both leaders from both the sides have made statements to that effect that this alliance can go on in the future and contest more elections. So can we see a Shiv Sena BJP type scenario emerging with Shiv Sena NCP, where an alliance went on for 2 decades on a common ideological platform, although there is no real common ideology here, besides the fact that you want to keep the BJP out, and to a certain extent the Pawar-Thackeray friendship?
So Maharashtra's politics continues to revolve around Sharad Pawar as of now. As I said in the last chapter in my book, I have mentioned that whether Pawar-Thackeray's decide to continue with the alliance, even if Congress decides to withdraw, it would be an interesting scenario, as said. And Balasaheb always wanted alliance with Sharad Pawar's party in Maharashtra. But all these scenarios are dependent on what happens to the BJP. Now, the Saffron Hindutva has a strong poster boy of Hindutva. And let us understand that Uddhav decided to build subnational narrative of Hindutva because the natural path of progression was closed.
Right. And he's never challenged that, as you've also said in the book.
Yeah. And especially after 2012, after Balasaheb's death, Uddhav has tried to challenge BJP, but 2014 Lok Sabha elections, Narendra Modi proved that who is the new Hindu Hriday Samrat.
Right.
And then there is no scope for Uddhav to claim that space, that saffron space. The way he's trying to build this inclusive Hindutva narrative, and especially when he spoke as chief minister, he made a significant statement in assembly. He said that probably we made a mistake by mixing religion with politics, and we are bearing the brunt now. I think this statement is significant because this explains the future path of Shiv Sena, the way Uddhav Thackeray wants to take Shiv Sena forward. But as I said, I'm not very sure whether NCP would be interested or Congress would be interested, or even BJP. Obviously, BJP would not be interested in Sena's survival.
Right.
It is a lonely battle for Uddhav Thackeray. He has to build a new base for the party. He has to convince his voters, Hindutva voters, that his party is still saffron Shiv Sena, and he has to convince his voters, convince Hindutva supporters that those who are voting against BJP are not anti-Hindus. There is a Hindutva narrative outside BJP's realm.
Alternative Hindutva narrative.
Yeah.
Right. Uddhav Thackre's handling of the COVID-19 crisis in the initial few months, it actually received a lot of appreciation even from critics. The way he was directly talking to people, etc. But then as the months went by and as COVID cases kept on piling up in Maharashtra, with the recent economic survey report also pointing out, or rather slamming Maharashtra for its performance as such. At the end of, or it would be too reckless to call it the end yet, but towards the fag end of the pandemic, how would you rate Maharashtra's handling of the COVID, or rather Uddhav Thackeray's handling of the COVID situation?
Yeah. So as I mentioned in my book, a chapter on COVID-19, initially it was thought that Sharad Pawar will take charge, as he's known for managing the disasters. Latur earthquake, we know the way he managed it. And the perception was Sharad Pawar will take over on the field, and at Mantralaya, Ajit Pawar will be in charge. But to everybody's surprise, Uddhav Thackeray played an assertive role. I find this interesting, that when nobody was expecting Uddhav Thackeray to perform, and nobody was expecting that he will shoulder the responsibility strongly, and especially when BJP was pushing him to the corner, and situation was really challenging, the way he responded to the situation is really fascinating. The first thing I realized that through communication, he tried to create a comfort level among citizens, among Maharashtra people. The way he spoke, generally he started his speeches, or even today in Shiv Sena rallies, like Bala Sahib, he starts with Maja Hindu Matano Bhagini Nwani. So here it was my brothers and sisters in Maharashtra. From Hindu Bandhu Bhagini to brothers and sisters in Maharashtra is a big transition. That was the first part. With available resources, he tried to manage the situation. I would be not the right person to make a judgment whether he succeeded or not succeeded. What I can say is that with available resources, he put in all possible efforts to control the pandemic, and especially when the opposition was trying to block him in every possible way, right from his election to Legislative Council. So that is something I would like to add.
In a very challenging situation, when people were least expecting it, he actually rose up to the responsibility at that point. You've also said that he's not really been able to come up with a lot of concrete programs for rural Maharashtra. And this is at a time when the Shiv Sena has been desperately trying to shed its urban-centric image and expand to rural areas of the state as well. So can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Yeah. As we know, the Shiv Sena has always been an urban party, especially in Mumbai, Nashik, Pune. And see what happened. This urban base has now been captured by the BJP. In 2019 election, Shiv Sena didn't even contest it in major cities. Now it has to rely mostly on the rural population. All these years, Shiv Sena has never explained what is its vision about rural development, urban development. Shiv Sena was always interested to keep urban development department when it was in power. But neither Uddhav Thackeray nor Bala Sahib have ever explained their vision for Maharashtra's overall sustainable development as such.
Right.
So when we are talking about rural Maharashtra, the situation is really bad. The state is known as a farmer suicide zone. Maximum number of farmers end their lives. In this entire analysis, I found only one reference where Uddhav Thackeray said that farmers can come to Mumbai to earn livelihood. Besides this, loan waiver was another thing which he announced. I feel that he needs to go beyond loan waivers and popular announcements.
Right.
His thoughts on sustainable development, urban development, industrial development of Maharashtra, we don't know. We don't have any blueprint from the Shiv Sena about the comprehensive development of Maharashtra. And I think if Shiv Sena has to gain roots, they should come with a concrete agenda. Only emotional politics is not going to suffice, is not going to help. That's my
The
personal
second
view.
year of the Uddhav Thackeray government is really something to watch out for in this aspect, at least. One thing that everybody is always curious about is Uddhav Thackeray's relationship with his estranged brother Raj Thackeray. Till the time Bayasaheb Thackeray was alive, at least for personal issues, say when Uddhav Thackeray was going through his angiography and then angioplasty and then angiography, Raj Thackeray was the first phone call of Bayasaheb at that time, and he had also come to the hospital. So you could see that aspect of family relationship still being alive. To what extent does that survive now? Are they still, aside from politics, on talking terms, cordial to each other?
Yeah, as I said, I'll speak on what I analyze and what my analysis says. Raj Thackeray was, as we all know, always close to Balasaheb. But when his political ambitions were clear, Balasaheb was not very keen to push his candidature. That's what my analysis says. Probably Balasaheb was thinking that Uddhav will never be in power politics. And when I say power politics, I'm talking about holding a position in the government. But Raj Thackeray was very much willing to be in active power politics. In fact, twice he made references or clear announcement that he wants to become Maharashtra Chief Minister. Once in 1998 and then in 2004. He withdrew his statement saying it was in jest, but it was not jest. People who were with Uddhav, they understood what was going on. I think political ambitions created this warfare within the family. And bitterness prevails. When I spoke to his friends, according to them, the bitterness is at the level that they generally don't even have informal communication at family level. So I think that politics has created a great
wedge between the two brothers.
Wedge between, yeah.
You also conclude the book, and this is my final question for you. You also conclude the book saying that Uddhav Thackeray is basically a tiger who can change his stripes and still be called a tiger. This sort of indicates that his ideology is more politically pliable than what his father's was. What would you say are the major similarities that Uddhav has with his father and the main stark differences that come out between the two leaders?
Yeah, I'll start with the last part of your question. The stark difference, if you ask me, Balasaheb strongly believed in Hindutva politics. He wanted to build a Hindutva Rashtra starting from Maharashtra. After 1987, in Supreme Court verdict, in one of his interviews, Balasaheb said that it is God's blessing that I have got the license to build Hindu Rashtra starting from Maharashtra. Now, Senior Thackeray, Prabodhankar Thackeray, Balasaheb's father, he, in one of his last speeches, said that Balasaheb has formed his own sect. Now, this is something interesting. When Prabodhankar, Balasaheb's father, said that Balasaheb has started his own sect and it is different from my own sect. So we all know Prabodhankar, Keshav Sitaram Thackeray, was one of the reformist Hindutva leader who wanted to make Hindutva free from, as he said, noose of Brahmanical priesthood and from the rituals. So I think Uddhav has slowly deviated from his father's hardcore Hindutva politics. Now, this statement would probably not like by Shiv Sainiks. Shiv Sainiks would not like to buy this statement. But my analysis shows that Uddhav Thackeray has deviated from Bala Saheb's hardcore Hindutva politics.
Right.
He's trying to build a secular Hindutva politics. Now, whether secular Hindutva politics is possible, that is a question.
Correct.
But then he's trying to build a subnational Hindutva narrative where he says that socio-political and cultural interests of all Hindus are not same. They could be different, but still we can stay together as Hindus. Still we can stay together as countries. So my socio-political and especially cultural interest might be different from Neo-Buddhist Christians and Muslims, but not necessarily they are antagonistic. This is really an interesting narrative he's trying to build. Let's see what happens to his politics and his narrative.
And to what extent the Shiv Sena cadre actually takes this up. So sorry, I said that was the last question, but
Yeah.
A corollary to that would also be that, old timers versus the new joinees of the Shiv Sena, and the narrative that Uddhav Thackeray is now trying to build for the party. So isn't there a big clash within the Shiv Sena as well? And this would, I promise, be the last question for this evening.
So there is a clash. As I mentioned in my book, there's a Shiv Sainik called Mahesh Patil from Karad. The book starts with his story and ends with his story. So whatever Uddhav Thackeray is saying, the cadre still believes that Shiv Sena is still Bala Saheb Thackre's Shiv Sena. Shiv Sena is still the party which will build Hindu Rashtra. Now, Uddhav has to address this group of Shiv Sainiks who strongly believe in Bala Saheb's ideology. At the same time, he will have to create new party base, new voters who are not aware of Bala Saheb's charisma, who have not seen Bala Saheb, probably first-time voters. And I think this responsibility lies with Aditya Thackeray to bring in new vote base to Shiv Sena. So right now, Uddhav Thackeray is in power, and that's why he's talking about secular politics, secularization. And when he says secularization, interestingly, he made this very clear. When he says secularization, he's saying that the scope, space of religion should be restricted to personal life, and we should not bring religion in public life. Exactly opposite what Bala Saheb said. Bala Saheb allowed religiosity to play a major role in socio-economic, political and cultural life of Maharashtra.
Correct.
So this would be interesting. But as I said, Uddhav is a tiger who can change his stripes and still be a tiger for his. And most important thing to remember is Uddhav Bala Saheb Thackeray. The name Bala Saheb Thackeray associated with Uddhav takes him a long way.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. And thank you so much for watching this edition or this episode of Softcover. Please do read the book and keep watching the print.
Thanks.